those early days. It was, that one was, I can see that the Marriage Shop. You came with Marriage Shop, that was the first.
Was that?
You didn't do erotic silence, right?
I didn't do erotic silence.
No,
I had
not
to
here.
do 2000.
Okay.
An Idol, 1998.
Anyway.
So what if I were to tell you that Miggs isn't the man we think he is? What if this guy who created the a U.S. postage stamp, who hasn't had a TV show, who produces a TV show, who designed covers for Time, who gives most of his creative time to people and organizations who need his design genius, what if he were or had been a magician, or a pilot, or a prisoner in a foreign country? Miggs Burroughs.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Delma. They let me out of the handcuffs for this afternoon. And thank you, Tricia, for inviting me here and in this noble barn of literature. Anyway, this is an unusual experience, but I'm grateful that you're all here. And I was told, I had done actually one talk and I never mentioned the title of the book in the entire talk, so I'm going to get that out of the way, even though Tricia did. It's the What If Book of Questions to some of your most revealing answers on love and health, wealth and happiness. And as Dama said, it's just all questions. Each page has one question and a little illustration that accompanies it to kind of complement it or enhance it. And this, what if questions are not new with me. The world wouldn't be the way it is today if it wasn't for greater minds asking big what if questions. What if I could fly like a bird? What if I could carve the face of presidents on the side of a mountain? What if Lindsay Lohan could act? There's a lot of unanswered questions that make us who we are and make the world what it is. And they the purpose of this book was to remind me, I wrote it for myself basically, and it was to remind me that, I'm in charge of writing the next page in my own story, as I think we all are, which I wasn't always so aware of. These books all that surround us here, I consider them to be feasts for the mind, and the heart and the soul. This is not quite as substantial as the other books here, so I like to refer to it as an after-dinner mint. I hope it's refreshing, and I think it cleanses the palate for what's next, which is another blank page. So if you read this, hopefully it'll prompt everybody to be the author of their next page, their next chapter. One thing I do have in common with most of the authors here, great and otherwise, is the rejection letter. I think most authors can claim that. I don't know, maybe not Dalma or Richard, but no, really. Okay. Well, I stopped at one. This was written a long time ago, and which I'll explain why in a minute. But I never showed it to anyone for 18 years. It just sat. It was for me, basically. I never intended it to be a book. To be sold. It was just my own little self-help guide. But I did send it out because there's always that urge for validation, So I did send it out there to Simon & Schuster, and this was dated November 7th, 1995, which is when I wrote it. And it's Caroline E. Sutton, senior editor. Dear Miggs Burroughs, the What If Book of Questions is very cute, but I also think it's very small. End of letter. That's it. Now, yeah. Up until I got this letter, I always assumed that publishers read the book and didn't measure it with a ruler or put it on a scale. Apparently, the secret is, if there's any aspiring authors here, make your books big. Make them weigh a lot, even if you have to put lead weights in them or put giant covers on them. Apparently that's what matters. Size matters in publishing.
She definitely had a way with words.
Yeah. But, you know, rejection's part of life, and it's part of, we get rejected in a lot of different ways, jobs and school and all sorts of things. And so it's part of the gifts that come to us, you know, that aren't necessarily wrapped in red ribbons. And that's also what this book is meant to be about. But it is small. It's meant to be portable, you know, kind of a little companion to take with you. And if you could probably read the whole thing in 20 minutes, but I think the intent is you revisit it, and maybe over time, you know, you spend more time with it than that. Because you can pick any page at random and read it. It doesn't have really a sequence to it. What if the most important moment in your life is this one? Can you handle the power it gives you to choose how you will spend the next one? What if you collect the moments of your life like beads on a string? How much valuable string are you using up with small, colorless beads? What if you look at every dream, sneeze, blister, person, accident, and cloud as a gift? Could you buy anything better? As Dalma said, I'm a graphic artist. I lived in town. My parents moved here in 1950, and I went through the school system. Graduated Staples High School. Then I found myself at Carnegie Institute of Technology, which is now Carnegie Mellon, as an electrical engineer, which makes no sense. And I didn't know what I was doing there as an electrical engineer. And it was kind of a glimpse, one of the first glimpses I had that I was not writing my own story. Somebody else was, and I was letting them, other people, not just, you know, I mean, guidance counselors, parents, just, and so that probably stuck with me. I realized there was things going on that I had, you know, abdicated control of, and I didn't take that too seriously or know what to do about it for a while. Then after Carnegie, I got a job. I got a series of jobs, ended up being a graphic artist. And then I'm going to show you a picture which might be a little disturbing, but this is just in terms of fashion statement. This is my wedding picture. And I don't know who these people are. I don't know who this person is, but anyway. Here we look the same, thank you. Now this book, we were married for 23 years, and as it happens, you know, divorce happens for a number of reasons, and it's not fun for anybody. But I ended up, I think we did counseling together, and then we did our own thing. And I found that when I was in my counseling sessions, what I realized, I'd come to counseling, and I realized that I kind of reverted to a little kid. When I was a little kid sent to camp, and there's that horrible feeling of being displaced and ripped from their surroundings and your comfort zone, and you know, I would ask my parents, you know, what if I don't make any new friends, and what if I run out of money, and what if I don't pass the swimming test? And these are all the concerns a kid has, but it's in the way kids express things is what if this, what if that, and then 40 years later, I'm in counseling, and I find myself asking the same questions. You know, what if I don't make any new friends? And, you know, what if I run out of money? And what if I don't pass the swimming test? So that started this series of collecting these little what if questions, because the counselor encouraged me to, said, you know, write all these down. I mean, that's what it's, you know, and just, that's the way to kind of dissipate them, you know, just confront them, write them down. And so I wrote them down for myself. And, but I wanted to examine where they came from, you know, where these fears and these what ifs came from initially. And the conclusion I came to was that every fear and disappointment I'd had in my life was really me trying to imprint my expectations on myself and other people and events and, you know, a meal, a movie. So, and that came from, I think somebody else starts writing our story and telling us how to react to things, and we start from birth, you know. And we don't have any control over our story at birth, but I'll just do a little visual since I'm a graphic artist, I'll do a little graphic demonstration of the labels that we accumulate as we go through life. So you're born, and your gender is immediately determined, although you may be another gender lurking in the opposite gender's body. But nobody knows that then. If you are, then you know you come home and you're crying all the time, and they tell you you're cranky. But you learn to say please and thank you, so you're polite. And maybe you don't learn things so well, and you're slow. And then you go to school, and you're the class clown. And then, you know, the report card comes out. And then now this I was, from the time I can remember understanding English, I was introduced as, this is Miggs, our shy child. I mean, literally, that's how I was introduced to people when I was young. So again, these stories are starting, you know, being written. These blank labels are being filled in by other people, you know. So there's some good ones, you know. I was punctual. I was timid. What else? You know, if I did one, you know, you do something nice, then you're generous and sarcastic. Anyway, it goes on and on. But these are the ones that count. You know, the blank ones, the blank pages, the blank labels. And the What If book is really meant to, this looks horrible. It's meant to, the What If book is meant to prompt people to, first me, is meant to prompt examination of these labels that we've grown up with and how valid they are, and why not, you know, why not write our own narrative or take charge of it. I mean, it's sort of almost a cliche in a lot of books, you know, approach that, but this is just, I think, a little different way. I mean, a what if is a very, again, childlike thing, and child's imagination is, you know, what if I had 6 arms? What if I was 10 feet tall? So there's that aspect of being, you know, reverting to being, you know, having a childlike approach to problems, and having it be kind of disarming. Now I'll just end with, I got an email from, after I gave a talk a few weeks ago, I got an email from someone who was there, and it said, "So Miggs, I read your book twice last night. I couldn't put it down. This is the thought that's staying with me today." And she reads the one she referring to. "What if rain ruins your picnic but feeds the plants, and the wind takes your hat but clears the fog? Can you be happy in a crazy place like this?" And she says, "I think I could be very happy in a crazy place like that, and I think I am. I love the unexpected twists and turns in life that distract us and pull us to new people and new adventures. I love the silver linings that surround every occurrence, whether it seems good or bad or ambivalent on the surface. And I love to have the good fortune to experience and appreciate the small and good in everything and everyone." I don't know if that's the passage, I don't know if that's what that passage means to you, but those are the feelings it is evoking in me today. So from Simon & Schuster to this was quite a leap, and you know, for me, made the book worth. I'm so glad, you know, that I was able to finally, you know, have it published and share that, because I think that's what it's all about. Thank you all. It was very nice of you to all show up on this lovely day. Thank you. Oh, sure.
I like a pocket book.
Yeah, I'll swap you out with a good, yeah, because this, I don't know where these came from.
Never all very good.
This is going to give you another addition to your treehouse.
Thank you so much. Okay. Make it out to your name, or?
Kait.
Ginny is
No,
my
it's the
mom's
best
friend.
when it's anonymous.
Yeah.
You can say no to an anonymous.
Right.
Black cat.